Hey y'all, welcome back to part 3 of our playthrough of Assassin's Creed Unity in French. We're going to kick off right where we left off from the last video, but I'm starting out here in front of this store again, mostly just because there aren't any people trying to run me over. But you can see a lot of the familiar words that we've seen several times at this point, but there's some new ones there as well. There was escargot, which you probably have heard before, but that just means snails. And then a new word towards the bottom there, next to Arno's hand, called te. You can probably guess what that word means, but if you want to leave a comment down below as to your guess of what that word means, feel free. I'll take a look and see who gets it right. But I'm on the way over here to this synchronization point. I want to try and see if I can unlock some of this map and hopefully see what's going on. But see, it's up there on that spire, but it's not an ideal location. You can see on the mini-map that blue space, which means I think we're not supposed to go in there yet. Or at least if we do, it'll be very difficult. So I might just put a pause on that for now and try to tackle that later. So instead I think I'm going to go to the mission objective over here. It's just right around the corner, so it's actually really close. And I'll double back and try to get that sync point later. And it's possible that it could also be part of a mission later on down the road. So real quick, just look at this store for a second, La Vigneronne. You can see that it said Vin and Liqueur on the sign there, so another wine shop, most likely. But we are on our way to the mission. Looks like it's going to be through here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're going to start this next memory sequence and keep right on rolling with the story. So, Memory 2, Rebirth. And Rebirth, in case you don't know, in French is Renaissance.
J'imagine qu'une simple adresse aurait été trop triviale.
All right, and actually, I want to take a quick closer look at this sentence because I think it's a great example of how we can use words we recognize in English to help us learn some French. So you see, there are several words in this sentence that are actually very similar to their English counterparts. We have imagine, and then simple, address, and trivial. So if we throw those together with his tone of voice, which sounded sort of sarcastic, we get imagine, simple, address, trivial, which altogether we can probably assume or sort of decipher that what he's saying is that he's annoyed because giving him a simple address would have been too simple. So just from the sort of context, using those English words and then his tone of voice, we get a pretty good idea of what he's trying to say there. Okay, so we're in here now, we're investigating this Sainte-Chapelle, this church. So there's something in this green zone we're supposed to pay attention to. It's a really nice church. All right, so there's this huge stained glass window up here. So my odds are that that's where we're supposed to go. So okay, so now and then he says Le Rayon de Soleil. So if you know much Spanish or other Latin languages, so soleil meaning sun. So sunlight. Head to the sunlight. And here we are. That's a very video game thing too, I think. Characters just knowing not only how to place an object into a lock, but then to also turn it in order to activate it. And not just turn it, but they always know the direction to turn and for how long. That's a very video game kind of thing. If it was me, I would just put it in there and sit there staring at it, wondering what's happening. And when nothing happened, I would just assume that I got it wrong and then move on. I wouldn't think to turn it. Okay, so we have to get out of the other side of the room. So we have this very nice traversal puzzle laid out for us now with these chandeliers. Up, 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 and up. Okay. Not too bad. Oh, it reloaded there for... And down.
T'as pris ton temps, merdeux.
Où sommes-nous?
Dans un sanctuaire. Un lieu où l'on peut s'entraîner et se préparer. Loin du regard de nos ennemis.
Est-on vraiment obligé de retourner en prison?
Alright, so we've caught up with Pierre. And, he's still calling us Merdu, which is fantastic. Oh, and by the way, I meant to mention.
Pourtant, on n'y voit pas grand-chose.
I don't know. Hopefully, these little stops and overviews I'm doing of the translations are helpful. I try to find a good balance of doing, some but not all. I don't want to do. I don't want to translate everything. One, because I don't know everything. I don't know all of the words, and when you're learning a new language and practicing with something like a video game, you likely won't know all the words. So it's not very realistic to sort of stop and translate every single word, and especially like in real life, you won't necessarily have the ability to do that either. But also, they wouldn't be very entertaining if I just stopped. I'd have to stop after every scene or every sentence and do a translation, and I don't want to do that either. That's not very fun and enjoyable. But I do try to do some here and there, things that I think are important or sort of fundamental, or things that I think will help you learn the language faster by sort of unlocking these key phrases. So, but just let me know if the amount is good, if you'd like to see more, if you'd like to see less, if there are words and phrases that you see that I'm not explaining or translating that you'd like me to. Just let me know down in the comments, and I'll be sure to take a look at those moving forward.
Quelle importance. J'emporte quand même la faute.
La culpabilité l'étouffe. Tu réponds vraiment de lui?
Anna Kabale. Inauka diran ala muajati el muakama. Seakunu shaidan.
Très bien. De l'ombre, tu rejoins la lumière. De la lumière, tu regagnes les ombres. Es-tu prêt à suivre la voie de l'aigle?
Si c'est votre manière de demander si je veux de votre aide, oui.
Alors, bois.
All right, and right here we're going to have another great opportunity to learn a very useful verb. So he says, alors bois. So we have the verb bois, which the full version is boire. And we can see here the game very kindly tells us to drink. So we can put those two things together. The verb boire means to drink. Now we are entering the Batman Arkham City portion of Assassin's Creed Unity.
Eh oh!
So we have some paintings here. This is actually pretty cool. We have some Latin phrases there. Adultus, mortis. So the stages of life looks like. It's actually a pretty cool little sequence here. Cool little scene. All the paintings swirling around. Very familiar hallway.
J'aimerais tant venir, père.
Courage, mon garçon. Tu vas m'attendre ici. Et je reviendrai quand cette église sera ombre. Et pas de bêtises, c'est entendu?
These scenes from the first video, beginning of the game when we were a kid, back in Versailles. So a little bit of a replay of some of the words and phrases that we heard then. Nice little refresh. Oh, oh, don't fall. Please don't fall. And done. Okay. So we have these pedestals here made of bones, which is very on theme for this particular section, but I think it's also a reference to the catacombs in Paris. There's miles and miles of catacombs underneath the city of Paris that are walls and ceiling and everything are lined with bones from the city cemeteries. Pretty grim, but also kind of fascinating if you look it up. You can, if you're ever in Paris, you can actually take a tour of the catacombs and see them for yourself. There's that famous letter again. Okay, I think so. A little pathway here. Do my best not to fall off. The jumping is a little floaty, at least in this section. It's like you jump and just about jump all the way over the platform to the other side. In fact, I'm kind of pulling back on the stick a little bit, just to avoid that. I don't know if he would actually go over, but I'm not confident that he wouldn't, so I'm trying to be careful. I really don't want to fall off. I don't want to have to do this again. Okay, so this is a great opportunity to show some, a couple of really sort of basic but common words and phrases. So right here at the beginning of the sentence we see mon ami, which you've probably heard before. It just means my friend, mon ami. And then right next to it, je suis. Je suis. That is it means I am, and it's one of the most common phrases that you will ever use in French. And it's the first person singular pronoun I, and then the verb to be, which when it conjugates is suis. So je suis. Very common. You'll see that all the time. So I just wanted to point that out real quick. And now here we are. We have entered the Batman Begins portion of Assassin's Creed Unity. Very exciting. Gonna make our way to the front here. I guess we're gonna confront this guy. Oh. Okay. Was that supposed to happen, or? No. Okay. I was supposed to kill him without being detected. I don't, maybe I missed that. I don't see any instructions on the screen, and I don't remember anyone saying anything about that. So I guess you're supposed to fail the first time? I don't know how else you would know. Maybe that's just part of the game's story. Arno is not quite an assassin yet, so maybe he wouldn't know that he's supposed to sneak and kill the person and he has to fail first? I don't know. Who knows? I will say, I have played this game before. It's been a while, but I have played it before. And I forget that part every single time. And while I'm thinking of it, I have played this game before, and that's actually, I think, a great tip. If you want to use things like film and television video games to help you learn another language, is to use a resource that you are already familiar with. So maybe a movie you've already seen, maybe a couple of times, or a game you've already played. That way you already know the story, you know what's happening in the story, you know generally what's being said. If you know it well enough, you might even know whole lines by heart. So that way when you see them repeated in another language, even if you don't know the words, you can kind of match up what's being said to what you know is taking place in the story. And that's another great way to kind of follow along and start filling in the blanks.
Suis-les et tu en deviendras meilleur. Bafoue-les et tu en souffriras. Lève-toi, assassin.
So right there, he said, Lève-toi, assassin, and Arno stood up, so we can sort of assume he was saying some version of rise, or to your feet. Novice assassin. And there we have it. Memory 2 complete. No bonus objectives this time, which is good. Because those are kind of stressful.
Tu es de retour. Maintenant que tu sais ce qu'est la vie d'un assassin, es-tu prêt à prendre part au combat avec nous? Deacon, charge le fichier.
C'est parti.
Nous avons volé un fichier de Abstergo le mois dernier, et les infos qu'il contient sont incroyables. Mais on ne partage pas ce genre de choses avec n'importe qui. Si tu appuies sur Play, tu rejoindras les assassins. Si tu veux lutter contre les Templiers, si tu veux nous aider à sauver la civilisation des griffes d'Abstergo, appuie sur Play, installe-toi et prépare-toi à apprendre la vérité.
Alright, so I'm
Tu
gonna
as
press
fait le
X.
bon choix. Bienvenue chez les assassins initiés.
And just then she says, Tu as fait le bon choix. Which translates basically to, you made the right choice. But I didn't even have a choice. I had to press X. Doesn't seem fair.
Dans les années 50, une théorie fut développée selon laquelle l'ADN humain employait un modèle à triple hélice. Quelques années plus tard, les travaux de Crick et Watson démontèrent cette théorie en faveur du modèle.
And this particular part is great too because we have the French subtitles and we can hear the French audio, but the video itself, the dialogue or the text in the video is still in English, so we can sort of pair the two together and kind of follow along.
En réalité,
So we know that they are, you know, that first section was walking us through a timeline, and now we know that we're talking about DNA, which if you know the Assassin's Creed series, DNA is a big deal. There you can see it, l'ADN, or ADN, if we use the English alphabet. So that is the French version of DNA.
Le savoir que nous pourrons acquérir sera sans limite.
Talking about the precursors, which was that ancient race that created the objects that we're always chasing in these games, like the Apple of Eden and various others, that sword at the very beginning of the game.
Ces découvertes seront 100 fois plus importantes que la fission de l'atome. L'an dernier, nous avons localisé un échantillon très riche d'ADN de précurseurs chez un donneur. Cet échantillon contient 4% d'ADN de précurseurs, une valeur inouïe. Il est la pierre angulaire de nos travaux. Notre objectif est de démêler la triple hélice, de séquencer le génome des précurseurs et de modifier à jamais le visage du monde. Bienvenue dans le projet Phoenix.
Bienvenue dans le projet Phoenix. So bienvenue, another very common word, means welcome. And projet, project. So a few more vocab words there, some new ones.
Plus Abstergo en détiendra, plus ils se rapprocheront de leur but ultime. On a fait obstacle à leur dernière tentative, mais ils continueront jusqu'à ce qu'ils aient séquencé le génome des précurseurs dans son intégralité. Alors, pourquoi Arnaud Dorian? Pourquoi suivre un assassin pendant la Révolution française? Il s'avère.
And just there, pourquoi, another great word to know, another question word, which we talked about in the previous video. Pourquoi means why.
Si Arnaud a assisté à la mort de ce sage, Abstergo risque de mettre la main sur son corps. Sauf si on est les premiers à le prouver. C'est là que tu entres en scène. Ce ne sera pas facile. Les mémoires génétiques doivent être traitées dans l'ordre pour que les données restent stables. Mais je suis sûr que tu seras à la hauteur. Et tu ne seras pas seul. D'autres initiés, des assassins tout comme toi, se démènent pour gagner cette bataille. Si tu as besoin de t'entraîner, de plus d'expérience, ils te viendront en aide. Très bien.
All right. I think that's the end of the video.
Chargement de la séquence suivante.
Yeah, looks like the end. Okay. And just there at the very end, another word, another great word to know that she used, chargement, which means to load, in this context at least. Chargement. And téléchargement means to download. Also very useful in the context of what we're doing here, talking about games, things of that nature, digital files, that kind of stuff. Téléchargement.
Tiens, regarde ça.
Alright, so we got some abilities unlocked. New assassin abilities and skills. You can see this pretty long list here. Okay, so it's loaded me into the ability screen. Some options here. Some of them are still locked. This is the only one available to get if I want to get it. So let's go down. Let's do stealth because I think that's going to be pretty useful. Looks like I have 4 skill points. You can see in the top left corner there, 4 skill points. Double assassination. All right, so I think it's going to be between this one and environmental. Yeah, I'm going to go with this one. I think double assassination is going to be really handy, I think, moving forward. It usually is.
J'ai demandé à Rebecca d'explorer la mémoire d'Arnaud. C'était un jeune homme plutôt actif. Tu vois ce symbole? C'est une mission coop. Je joue souvent en multi, toi aussi peut-être, mais je me suis dit que tu voudrais sûrement varier les plaisirs. Voici des missions qu'Arnaud a menées avec ses frères.
Alright, so co-op missions now available throughout Paris.
Marche jusqu'à cet endroit et tu recevras tous les détails. Je les ai tous indiqués sur ta carte.
Okay, and now it's brought me to, looks like, our equipment screen. So we have weapons, equipment, boosts. Let's look at our sword. Let's see if I can upgrade anything. So looking up at the top left again, it looks like, because it says the currency there, 250, I think that's florins. And you can see I have 2,200, so I could actually get something right now. So let me see if I can upgrade my sword. That's not bad. But maybe, because this one's also improving over what I already have, and it's not nearly as expensive. And it's, it's a pretty long game, so I think I'll be good with this for now. I can always buy a better one later. Let's look at our equipment. So we have colors, head, chest, forehead. Oh yeah, okay, I remember this now. So you could actually update, or you can upgrade each of the individual pieces of your outfit. If we look at the head, so yeah, you can see the different categories that it improves. So you can kind of focus on which strengths you want Arno to have. So it's pretty involved. I think I'm gonna put a pause on that. I'll come back to that later, maybe on my own. Okay, so what is this? We have killed the criminals. Okay, let's done. I have no idea who they were. But what's done is done. So we're gonna loot them and scoot them. All right, so let's move to. Let's go to the next objective. We have a whole bunch of trainings unlocked, which I probably won't do. Or I won't look them up anyway. So we're going to let's go over this building. Try to get over there. Oh, and let's look at this real quick. This is a pretty cool sign. So, La Liberté ou la Mort. So it's kind of a famous rallying cry. So liberty, liberté, liberty, and then mort is death. So la mort, death. And then you also just saw in the little bubble where it says database entry, a moment ago there was one that said Pont Neuf, very famous location in Paris. So Pont is bridge, and then Neuf is just another number word. So Neuf means 9, so bridge 9. If you've ever seen the movie, what is it, The Bourne Identity, with Matt Damon, towards the end of that movie, if I remember correctly, he tells that handler to meet him at Pont Neuf in Paris. So it's still there, all these years later. And there's more than one, obviously. And a lot of them, they have different names, of course, but some of them are also numbered. All right, so we are in the next mission.
Quelle est la mission?
La mission est d'aller poser ton cul où il faut, sans poser de questions, merdeux.
Servir est mon devoir.
All right, mission difficulty indicated by diamonds. The more diamonds, the harder the mission. Got it. All right. So let's see what we got here. What kind of situation we deal with. So kill guards, sabotage the bell. Great. Well, I just sabotaged the bell, so I know how to do that. Now I try to get these guards. Alright, so I'm gonna aim for this hay. Looks like a pretty good spot to hide. And it wants 3 cover kills for the bonus objective. So I wonder if I can... And I don't have any kind of like whistle or anything, which is a little annoying. So I can't call anybody over here. And I can't reach anybody without being seen. So this is... no bueno. Okay. Maybe what I need to do then, I need to get out of this hay. And I'm thinking, what if I go over here? Can I get... Because I feel like if I try to climb that, someone's going to see me. So... Alright, maybe what I need to do, I'm going to go back to the building that I just jumped off of. I'm going to go around the side and see if I can't get a better angle on one of these guys. Because there was that guy just below me here, kind of next to the wall, so I'm thinking maybe, yeah, right there. So I'm thinking maybe I can kind of get a angle on him, or maybe I can get around. See, I would probably just jump off and air assassinate that guy, but then the other guy next to that guy would see me. So that's not going to work. Alright, I'm going to go back to my original plan. And by that I mean my second plan. And I'm going to try to get this guy here. Can I get off this wall? Oh, for... Okay. You know, could have gone worse. If I'm being honest with myself, I'm gonna give myself a B- on that one. Could have gone better, but it wasn't a total failure. And I'm just a recruit after all, so I feel like I get a pretty steep bell curve on that grade. Okay, I got 2 left here. I'm gonna try to sneak up on the column here, maybe catch this guy as he's coming back. There we go. Hug the wall. Because I know he's going to come back around. And hopefully he doesn't see me. And I can get behind him and take him out. Get at least 1 cover kill. Okay. Well, shoot. He's not close enough. You know what? Never mind. Done.
Le seigneur Guillaume de Roussel a généreusement accepté notre prix de 4 dixièmes. Un acte empreint de désespoir. Et pour le prêtre? Il va consentir. Ta confiance est contagieuse, Sivert. Mes hommes vont préparer la carriole. Voilà les détails. Veille à ce que tout se passe bien. Entendu? Veille à ce que tout se passe bien.
Oh my god.
Faut toujours que ces chiens les gardent du corps. Alors?
Okay, well, I guess I'll take care of this one.
La prochaine fois, ne lui laisse pas le temps de crier. Pourquoi on reste ici alors que Sivert est toujours en vie?
If anything, that guy should have been the assassin. How did he get in front of me without me noticing? Alright. Escape the area. Smoke bombs. Oh, we're familiar with smoke bombs. Alright, escape the area. Skadoosh. Oh, jeez. I just noticed it says keep up with Belek. Great. Smoke, smoke, smoke. Smoke. Everybody get some smoke. This is going very well so far. I'm actually very lucky, one, that they highlight him so I can find him. Otherwise I'd be totally lost already. And 2, that there's no countdown. Or at least, there wasn't one until I ran into him. previous games, if you let your target or, you know, your partner or whatever get too far away from you or out of sight for too long, a little timer would go off and a little, like a alarm would start sounding. Makes it very stressful to try to catch up. So at least in this situation, I managed to catch up quickly enough. But we're still trying to escape. I'm supposed to follow you. If you had any interest in moving. I'm also very glad that he's the one throwing smoke bombs, because I'm almost out. Alright, so it says to go to the rendezvous point. Which is very nice. So we have an actual French word in our instructions. Rendezvous. You've probably heard that word before, used a lot. Rendezvous. Generally, it can mean a lot of different things, but I think generally it means like an appointment or you know, a previously agreed location or time. I mean, that's certainly what it means in sort of general English. So rendezvous point, meeting point. Alright. And they just introduced us to more enemies. And we know they're enemies because they're wearing red. Alright, so a lot of business going on behind me. I'm just gonna keep moving forward. And not look at any of that. Keep up with Belek still. Running across the rooftops. Oh, I'm an advanced recruit now. Fantastic. I am moving up the ranks already. So we have to go to Café Théâtre. Café Théâtre. So Café, I don't remember if I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but Café, Le Café is coffee, but Café can also mean like a coffee shop, which we're probably all very familiar with. Théâtre, you can probably read it there, if you take away the accent marks, means theater. Alright, running across these rooftops, I'm trying really hard to keep up. I'm also trying to dodge the windows, these sort of gaping open windows in these buildings, because now that you can go inside buildings, I'm pretty sure I would end up going through one of those windows, and then I would just be stuck in a building, and I would for sure lose him. So I'm sort of running and dodging at the same time. Alright, well, he's finally slowed down. Let's get on the ground here. Pont Rouge, there we go, another one. Faction fight. Okay, so guards in blue always attack extremists. Great, so blue versus red. Yeah, Pont Rouge. So we have that word again, pont, meaning bridge. Rouge, I think might be our first color word. Rouge means red. So red bridge. Alright, we finally stopped running.
Un an qu'on n'a pas vu Sivert. Et tu le laisses partir? Tout ça parce que son nom n'est pas écrit sur un bout de papier?
C'est pas le bon moment. Trop de choses à prendre en compte. Trop de choses qu'on ne contrôle pas.
Et s'il disparaît de nouveau?
S'il se tient au programme qu'on a trouvé, il sera demain à Notre-Dame.
Tu aurais pu me le dire plus tôt?
Alright, seems like they were having a bit of an argument about something. We saw the word Notre Dame again. That's that church I pointed out in that previous video. Very famous church. Almost burned down a few years ago, which is very, very shocking, kind of. But luckily did not burn down, and they are in the process of renovating it. But that's a very old church, been around, you know, better part of a millennia, I think. Alright, so we're back in the assassin hideout here. And we're going up the stairs. We're going to the council chamber.
Il se croit capable de mettre terme à la guerre entre assassins et templiers, de pacifier la révolution et de persuader chiens et chats de vivre en entente.
Oh, there's that word shown again.
C'est une chimère qui n'existe que
Remember
dans
that
cette
from a
tête.
previous video. It means
Les Templiers n'ont
dogs.
jamais été aussi faibles depuis la mort de Jacques de Molay. Et nous faisons la chasse de
The
misérables.
word right after that was Sha. C-H-A-T-S. Sha. You don't pronounce the final consonant. That means
Monsieur de
cats.
la Serre pensait qu'une trêve était possible.
Dogs and cats.
Regarde où ça l'a mené.
Okay. Sorry, I was waiting for him to stop talking. I try not to interrupt the dialogue if I can. And if you walk too far, it signals the next cutscene, and then you miss out on half the conversation. So,
Il me semblait un peu limité pour extorquer des nobles emprisonnés. Qu'est-ce que les Templiers préparent?
Si cette maudite trêve ne nous liait pas les mains depuis un an, nous le saurions.
Il n'a pas tort, Honoré. Cette trêve avait été conclue avec le grand maître de la Serre.
Et cela fait 2 ans qu'il est mort. Quel que soit leur nouveau chef, je suis certaine qu'ils ne se tournent pas les pouces.
Nous en aurions peut-être appris davantage en capturant Siver.
Siver était là-bas.
Je sais que la paix est une chose qui vous tient à cœur. Mais il serait sans doute utile de faire payer son crime au meurtrier de Monsieur de la Serre, n'est-ce pas?
Oui, en effet. Tant que tu n'essaies pas de faire passer ta vengeance personnelle pour une bonne stratégie.
S'il veut tuer des Templiers, laissons-le tuer des Templiers. Je lui ai appris tout ce que je sais. Il est prêt.
Fort bien. Assassin. Tu vas te rendre à Notre-Dame de Paris. Et tu y trouveras l'agent des Templiers, Charles Gabriel Siver. Tu apprendras ses secrets, et une fois ta tâche accomplie, tu lui apporteras la paix, comme le dictent nos préceptes.
all right, sequence 3, memory 1 is complete. Well, it's kind of hard to believe we're already in sequence 3. That's pretty cool. All right, so we've loaded. We're back still in the sanctuary here, and we have been given some instructions. It seems that is most likely going to be our next mission. But I think I'm going to leave it there for now. We covered a lot of ground in this video. Learned a lot of new great words. Let's see, what is this glowing thing? Oh, okay, assassin rank. That's not important. Okay, yeah, learned a lot of great new words and moved the story forward a bit. So thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to leave a comment or subscribe if you like this content, and I will see you in our next video.